Any good Bible scholar will tell you that Jesus had this radical message of inclusion. You pick it up when he was eating and traveling with prostitutes and goofy fishermen and tax collectors, and when his message is filled with people like Samaritans and other ugly folk. So, every Friday I try to give you something that you might order for reading if you're spending any more time at home that allows for some more contemplation. Some of you parents are busier than you've ever been in your life. But if you happen to be able to read, I've got some suggestions. So one hot topic for exclusion that seems to show up in Christian churches that don't take serious Jesus' primary ethic is LGBTQ people, how to throw them out or how to judge them as less than ourselves. A couple of good books, one of them that goes way back, some of you may have read Homosexuality in the Christian Faith. It's a good book, edited by Walter Wink. Here's another one, especially if you've got an evangelical background, this might be kind of useful. This is Unclobber by Colby Martin, a former anti-gay person. And then my fave, I guess, and by the way, it's almost the shortest book I'll recommend in this whole series, is this book called Holy Love by Steve Harper. Steve Harper was a good evangelical anti-gay person for years, taught in a Christian seminary. I actually had a class of his. But his whole life was changed by a deeper immersion into Scripture. And a line that really gets me is, immersion into Scripture has been accompanied by a parallel journey into a deeper understanding of love as the singular mark of the mature Christian life. Love must be the North Star in our theological sky and the anchor in our spirit. But it's not just a book about the broader picture of love, but it gets down into the nuts and bolts of scriptures that people often use to clobber or exclude people who are LGBTQ. So that's one set of books I might recommend you consider. For those of you who want to read some more meaty theology, Brian McLaren has been an absolute radical change agent in the Christian church family these last few years. And so I've got all kinds of books here. I'll just mention some titles. We Make the Road by Walking, Finding Our Way Again, The Return of Ancient Christian Practices, Adventures in Missing the Point, which he did with Tony Campolo, and A Generous Orthodoxy. But my favorite, maybe, is Why Did Jesus, Moses, and the Buddha, and Muhammad Cross the Road? And I'll read a quick line from Brian McLaren. So imagine then Jesus, Moses, the Buddha, and Muhammad crossing the road to encounter one another. Imagine us following them. What will we discover together in that crossing? Surely it will be holy and humbling in that sacred space. Surely there will be joy, grace, and peace. Surely justice, truth, and mercy. We will find hospitality there, not hostility, and friendship, not fear. It's a good book. Why did Jesus, Moses, the Buddha, and Muhammad cross the road? It's a little thick, especially when compared to Steve Harper's Holy Love. I hope you do some good reading in this strangest of times. God bless you, friends. You are love first.